Happy early Thanksgiving, everybody. How's everybody doing today? We're waiting for a few more to come in.
Happy early Thanksgiving, Cara. Great to see you.
Yeah,
Hear
I'm
you.
I'm having such a good day today.
Yeah. You're
Yeah.
with the family?
I'm with the family. I only get to see my family maybe once a year, and we all come together, and this is today, tomorrow, and Friday, and I'm just happy I get to be with my family. I don't get to spend much time with them, and it's just nice to all be together.
That's beautiful. It's that time of the year. It's definitely that time of the year where,
It really is.
right, we got to be grateful, thankful. I think we should be that way every day, but it's good to call it into action with the holidays, right?
Yeah, and I love to cook, so I made some of my famous Italian and Sicilian meals and made
Ooh,
some right before coming in here, so people are very happy downstairs.
okay. So you fed them before the show. That's beautiful.
Yeah. And I'm not at home right now, so for those who are listening, I'm actually out by a beach with my family in their house, not mine.
Nice.
Yeah. Nice. I don't get to do this very much.
Well, enjoy it.
I love it.
Gotta enjoy
And
it.
there's so much to be thankful for. What are you thankful for today, Juan?
I mean, so much is on the list, right? And it's being able to just be in the present. And I have my son this week. His mom is coming over the house, so even though we're not together, we do celebrate holidays together. When she's not busy, I'm not busy taking him somewhere. So I'm grateful for my family. I've shared before that this is the year that I was able to reconnect with my brothers. I have two younger brothers, both named Juan Ernesto, Juan Joel. And I've just gotten really back in touch with my family. So it's something to be super grateful for. I just had a picture sent of my mom. Like she just had her dentures put in. So she looks beautiful. Oh, like my brother literally just sent me this.
I
um,
love that.
I'm happy for my mom. Yeah, she's been asking for that for quite some time. So she had those put in yesterday.
That's wonderful. I
And
actually
look
bought
just
a
like,
pair of veneers earlier this year
oh
or late
yeah.
last year. Oh, I love them. I wear them anytime I have a business meeting and I'm on camera. I want to look my best. I'll pop them in there and have the brightest smile.
Oh my God, my mom looks so different. Yeah.
They
Wow.
really change
They
everything.
do. She looks so happy.
I love that for
Well, that's
her.
beautiful. That's beautiful that I got that right when we started this call. That's awesome. Yeah.
That's really cool.
So how about you? I know you're with family, get to cook.
Man, I'm just grateful to see my family. My dad, it's a miracle he even made it today because he was in the hospital after a bad fall just a week and a half ago, and he drove hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of miles to be here today, and it's a miracle. And I actually shared with him some of my book in progress and I had a nice connection with him and getting to see my niece and nephew and my brother-in-law and of course my son is here and it's just good to be with family and I'm just grateful to have a car and a roof over my head and good food and socks on my feet and you and people here and just knowing I have a community of friends online and a writing community also that I can talk to whenever I want to talk about writing. I just like that I'm kind of finding where I belong and there's a lot of thankfulness that I have for just fitting in and finding my tribe. And in my case it's several tribes, right? There's the Kaspa tribe, there's a writing tribe, there's a college tribe, there's a family tribe, right? There's many tribes that we have and just finding my place and where I fit into all of that is something I'm really grateful for.
Yeah, you can feel the energy of all of
Yeah,
it, you know. And
yeah.
I think Caspa's price action is reflecting what we're all grateful for. What do you think?
Oh man, it jumped today. It jumped a whole penny. I've
Right?
never seen it jump so fast. I mean, maybe 2 years ago in August, I saw it jump really fast. Today, though, we saw a really big jump really fast, and I went, "Whoa, is this a revisit of August? Because if it is, I wouldn't be surprised if we reach 6.5 cents in the next 36 hours."
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we had a hard dip here recently with everything that's been happening in the markets, but I believe it's up 40% for the week over the past 6, 7 days, if I'm not mistaken.
That's amazing.
Yeah, so that's exciting. So it's a reflection of what CASP is about, and we had a caller on the panel last week asked me if we knew what. Well, he asked me, I guess, if I knew what liquidity was. It's interesting, right? The markets are drying up. I do think there is less liquidity out there, so I think it's a signal that smart money's moving some of that towards Caspa, right? There's um, more demand for Caspa right now, so that's why the price goes up. You know.
And we also have well number one that added more, and I think what was it, wallet number eight added 15 million today or something like that. So there is some growth. There are people accumulating, things are moving up, and
Yeah.
I don't usually check the price, but today there were so many people in my feed talking about price that I went and checked it. And I went, wow, we are really leading the pack here as far as the growth in the last 24 hours, 48 hours. We're really on top of it.
Yeah, and I mean, I've shared I buy a little bit every single day, so I ended up buying a little bit this morning right before it jacked up. So it was exciting to see that happen. Absolutely,
That's
and
beautiful.
I think it's just a sign of things to come, right? It's a sign of things to come. It's a beautiful thing.
It was a nice surprise for me. I actually took a few days. I took about 2.5 days to touch grass, step away from social media. I still checked on it, but I just took a break from it and just focused on my writing and just clearing my head. I actually went to church for the first time in a year on Sunday just so I could sort of reset. And you'd be so proud of me, Juan. I went to an all black church.
Oh, really? What
Oh,
was
I
that
loved it.
like?
Oh, well, it was my third time there, and I love it.
Okay, okay.
They I have a friend who's in the choir,
Oh,
and,
that's awesome.
I had such a good time. Oh my gosh, and it made me just remember what's important to me, and it really helped me reset, and when I came back, the price was up, and I went, "Wow, maybe I should take a break more often."
Yeah, look at that. We're all getting right, and then it's a reflection of what's going on in the ecosystem. I think so. I
Yeah,
think
and
so.
yeah,
Yeah.
I'm just so grateful. I mean, wow. And we've seen it go down and we've seen it sideways for a long time. And even though we're all accumulating and we all say, hey, we're glad it's down because we can buy more, I'm celebrating too when it goes up. I love seeing it go up too. There's always something to be grateful and celebratory about seeing
Yeah.
it go up or down.
Yeah. I mean, we obviously don't lead with price. We talk about utility here. We talk about it being used. Oh, and the other thing too is I probably I mean I'm in that energy still. So I put two people on some Caspa wallets today. So I did do that. And I
Really?
remember when I was doing it, I had just bought the Caspa, and then it shot up really quick. I was like, oh shit, went up, and because I just I sent a person a Caspa, but it was a friend that I hadn't seen in a while. Yeah. I'm doing every time I meet up with somebody or it comes up. It's so yeah. So I put two new people on Caspa today.
I
I
mean,
think
you were on it.
3 or 4 this past week. Yeah, and my neighbor, I had a Casper shirt on, and he's like, "Oh, I bought some Bitcoin." I'm like, "We got to get some Kaspa." He's like, "Oh, is that the one that you were talking about?" I'm like, "Yeah, that's what's on my shirt." He's like, "Okay, cool." And we're supposed to link up after he's gonna go see family here tomorrow, but we're gonna link up this weekend. But he's my next door neighbor. I'm gonna get have him download a wallet, get some Kaspa. So yeah, I'm spreading it. I'm out there in
You're
the
on it.
trenches.
You really
Absolutely.
are. You
Yeah,
converted so many
but
people. I love it.
it's so easy. It's so easy. I've shared with this before, and I'm sure people can relate. I never did it with Bitcoin, right? Because it was just there's a lot of steps that you have to take to download a Bitcoin wallet and email and all. So it's just way easier with. I just have a routine with it, right? I have a routine with it, and it's just really easy to enroll people into. And then I love sending them a Caspa. So that's what I do every time. I just send them a Caspa. One.
Is there a cold wallet that you would recommend that is also compatible with the KNS domains?
So I know that that's the Casware wallet. I have not used that one. I always just use the Caspium because that's the first one that I've downloaded and that I put myself on. But I do have the Casware wallet
I
um,
see. Because I got
on
a,
my desktop.
I made a wallet for my, I have some Caspa in a wallet that I've put aside for her, but I'm in control of it. I want her to have her own keys. And I want her to have one of those cold wallets. I'm looking to see when there's going to be compatibility with cold wallets with KNS. So if you hear of anything, please share it with us because,
Yeah, I
yeah.
will. I will. I'm not sure if is there a Casware wallet that we could download on iOS. I'm not sure.
I don't know. I use Android.
Okay, sorry to hear that.
So there's Caspian,
Yeah, I don't see Casper on here.
and it
Yeah,
looks
because
like
the KNS domains we
free.
can only use that on the desktop, right?
Oh, okay, okay. Is that just now or is that always?
I think it's been that way. Yeah, there isn't a wallet that you can download on your phone just yet. I do not believe. Check us if that's not true. If anybody knows, let us know.
Do you know if VProgs might make that more compatible for cold
Uh,
wallet?
I am not the person to speak on that.
Does
Do
anyone
not
here
know.
know? I'm curious if anyone here has any information on that. I'd love to know.
You can let us know in the comments or
Yeah. And Juan, next week you're going to London.
yes, yes, yes. So I posted it on my profile. Let me put it on the screen too. So I'm
You're gonna get
excited
to
about
see
that.
Jonathan.
Yeah, and that was confirmed today. So we got news that he will be speaking at 2 p.m. London time at the tokenized event. I'm gonna put it on the blockchain on the panel here so you guys can see it. Um, but yeah, he's gonna be speaking at 2 p.m. And then we're gonna be meeting at Wolfie's Bar. This is super cool for me because I've actually had conversations with Seb. Had a really great phone call with him. I woke up one morning and I was like, I need to reach out to Seb because like I just shared, I'm putting people on these Caspa wallets. I have a couple friends that have been, so my barber, my masseuse, they need to register on Cas Maps, but Seb's going out there. And I'm gonna meet up with him on Monday, and then obviously meet up with all the guys on Tuesday. Jonathan speaks at 2 p.m. and then we're meeting up at Wolfie's Bar. I'm staying through Thursday, so it'll be a quick 5 day trip because I leave Sunday. But yeah, I'm
Yeah,
really looking forward to that. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be
and
fun
so
to
for
mix and
our
mingle.
listeners, they should know that next Wednesday we are not going to be holding blockchain banter because Juan will be in Europe at this event and the time just will not be compatible. It'll be
Right.
3 a.m. for
3,
him.
4 a.m. Yeah, it'll be 3, 4 a.m.
Yeah.
in the morning.
So
Yeah.
we're going to postpone next week and we'll pick up the week after. And tonight we're
Absolutely.
going to have a shorter show because present and stuff like that. But we do want to have a show today, especially just first talking about gratitude and what we're thankful for. And then we're going to also open up the floor to anyone who has anything they'd like to share. So, yeah, we're going to have a nice, short and sweet one this week. That's kind of how it is with the holidays, right?
Yeah, absolutely. It's a time to be with, I love being with you guys for sure. I'm grateful, like you said, I'm grateful for everybody on here that's tuning in, that's going to be listening in later. We're grateful for you guys' the support that we're getting. It's the energy's been beautiful, and I've really enjoyed these conversations. I've learned a lot each and every single week, and I look forward to these calls every single week. So, but yeah, tonight we're gonna, Karen and I talked about it. We're gonna keep it short and sweet. If a couple of you want to request and talk, let us know what you're grateful for and what you're looking forward to. If you have any news to share, feel free to request to come up on the panel and speak. But yeah, we want people to spend time with their families. Kara
Yeah.
mentioned she's with family. Um, I'm really into some YouTube videos here that I want to see. I'm gonna be, I'm gonna be up late here. There's no school for me tomorrow either. No school for any of us.
So
So,
one, um, I know that we're grateful for stuff, but I think we're also realists. And you and I were talking about the movie that you recently saw
oh
called The
man,
Big Short. And I'm curious if you feel like even going into that energy tonight, I'm open for it. I don't know if that's something you want to talk about, but I just figured since it was something on your mind earlier, if you feel like going there, that's cool with me.
yeah, I mean, I can because I'm a I'm a cautious optimistic. That's how I would describe myself, Kara. I definitely acknowledge when things are a certain way, and I like to get to the beneath the surface of everything and really really understand it from just I want to understand the depths of why things are the way they are. So that movie, The Big Short, somewhere around there, and I've been in Miami since the movie's about the great financial crisis and these traders that shorted the market and basically called the financial collapse of the market in 2008. And I've been running a business for the past 6 7 years, and over the past year and a half 2 years I've obviously been studying Kaspa money, and just really getting back to really looking back at our history to understand why all this is the way it is. And yeah, that movie hit me. I just watched it before the show started today, and it really hit me with how you would think we'd learn our lessons, and we're just repeating a lot of the same shit that caused that financial collapse. Um, and I think a lot of it, I don't think a lot of it, there aren't necessarily, I wouldn't say that people have bad intentions. It's just the system that exists. And we're blessed that we're blessed that Bitcoin was birthed, that Bitcoin launched in 2009. It was a response to what happened. But when, like looking at the numbers, Kara, and seeing, what they should have done is let everything reset. But at the same time, and this is where I still need to dive in and really understand. I'm learning that everything is so interconnected. Like, yeah, we're America over here, there's Europe over there, China over here, but we're so interconnected with our dealings with each other, and the money is so intertwined. And it goes way back. It goes way back with the foundation of the Bank of England in 1694 by William Patterson, and then the Rothschilds, who basically financed the freaking world and intertwined everything. And then JP Morgan getting everybody together in 1913 with the Federal Reserve. And then what happened in the 80s? So, Paul Volcker was a Fed chair that basically, the IMF was created before that, but the IMF plays another big role in this. But like we're so in debt. We're $38 trillion in debt here, 315 trillion in the world, and our GDP, we're not producing that. So it's like the math isn't mathing. And when I watched The Big Short, it just spoke to that that didn't just affect the US, that affected the world and the people that suffered, because they bailed out the banks. They bailed out the bad actors. Nobody went to jail. People should have gone to jail. And we're fucking repeating a lot of the same shit. So the beautiful thing is we have Caspa. We have Caspa. We have an opt out of that, and I really do believe that it's an answer. It's an answer to the issues and the problems, and people don't know about it. So that's why we're on these platforms and speaking and letting people know that there is an option out of that system. And I can feel for people that are working class people that are just trying to make it and trying to understand it. I shared this with you, Kara. It's There's so much in the languaging of finance to confuse the shit out of us. I didn't study finance, but I understand some of these words a lot better, and what they're trying to do, and the markets, and it's like bets on top of bets with nothing backing it, going to what has happened since 1971 when we depegged from gold. And essentially that was the US defaulting. We wanted to print more than what we had, and it was a way to do that. Um, so yeah, we're in bed with all this, and I unfortunately think that it's gonna like there has to be something that comes that resets it all, something shitty. Um, and that's why I think it's important to prepare yourself and educate yourself. So yeah, I really felt it watching that movie. The main character, you haven't seen it, right, Kara? You haven't seen the movie, Big
If I
Short?
have, I can't remember it. I might have to rewatch it.
Yeah. So Steve Carell, you know who that is? Steve Carell.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, he does such a good job of just showing his aggravation for the system, and
Yeah,
those
I can't
guys.
remember it. I must have seen it so long ago. I can't, I mean, I know the name and I remember who's in it, but I don't remember it. So I'm gonna watch it again.
Yeah, the main characters are like us Caspa people trying to educate people on what this is. They're people are calling them fucking crazy. Like, what are you guys talking about? So nobody really sees what they see. So that was relatable, right? And
Yeah.
I mean, for me, it's been like that. I always gravitate towards where's the crowd looking at, because typically if everybody's over there, they're not really fucking getting it. They're not really seeing everything. Um, so yeah, the main characters they showed, again, Steve Carell's the main character, and his just aggravation with everything and questioning the system and all that shit. It's very relatable to us in Caspa and what we're experiencing, with people not understanding this, and obviously the back and forth with the Bitcoin, um, maxis, and I just think eventually it's got to all come together. And at the end of the day, the way I see things with the Bitcoiners too is they don't really get that we're fighting for the same thing. We're fighting to exit the system, the fiat system. And that's really what this is an answer to. And that's what makes it so exciting. And this is 100% what I'm so grateful for. Because I think without knowing it, right? For me, I was able to 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 buy Bitcoin and hold Bitcoin from 2018, and then really stack it in 2021, even at the highs. And I think I benefited from that from an energetic place, not understanding what it really was doing, and then the evolution of that with Caspa. It's like I really do feel that Caspa presented itself to me when I was ready to see it. So I think there's a lot of that, right? That people just you have to be in a place in your life to want the information and to be able to see it. And we're super early to this, but yeah, when you look at the other system, there's people that have called the end of the world for a long time. So I'm not necessarily one of those saying, "Hey, the end of the world is coming," but there's going to be some major pain with our monetary system and the way it's set up. I mean, the
It's
wealth
gonna
gap is widening. The wealth gap is just widening. So rich people with assets, if you have assets, you're going to be fine because those are going to inflate, and they're going to, they have to print more. It's just inevitable. I just don't see how long. I don't know. I don't know how long it's going to last.
it's gonna get worse before it gets better.
It has to. It absolutely has to, you know? And that's the sad part. Like I felt the characters in The Big Short. They made all this money, so they shorted the markets, and The main guy walked away with 200 million, and his firm walked away with 1 billion. So they made money, but it wasn't even about that for him. So I could relate to that too. It's like, okay, he was like, okay, a billion, but it literally collapsed the economy. And $5 trillion back then was wiped out from retirement savings from people that like their life just wiped out because the taxpayers bailed out the banks. So I mean, it happened what, 17 years ago. So
Was
it's
that
easy to
based
forget.
on a true story?
Yeah, it's based on the great financial collapse of 2008.
Oh,
Yeah, 100%. It's
okay.
based on the collapse of Bear Burns, which was the first investment company that went down, and then Lehman
Yeah,
Brothers went down in September.
right.
And the thing about, here's what I think. I think there's going to be major pain. Now, looking at how that went down, because you could relate it to the Great Depression and how and what happened to our economy in the 20s, right? In 1929, we had a collapse as well, and then it took the economy about 3 or 4 years to start the recovery process. With this, and the recovery process was bailing out the bad actors, right? They didn't suffer, and that's the shitty part. It's like people don't really get like, oh, we were sold on, oh, we got to save the banks and we got to do all that, and there just isn't enough education on this. They don't talk about any of this stuff. It's not what we're educated on. We're educated on being workers and complying, and it's just, we obviously have an option. We see it with Caspa. I see it clearly with Caspa. Um, but they didn't reap the consequences of what they sowed, and it's happening all over again. Should I share the derivatives number? You want to know that?
Yeah,
Based
go
on,
for it.
okay. So back when that happened, derivatives in the markets were at 60 trillion. So I did some digging and I found out the derivatives market, which is a market not backed by anything, it's all speculation on top of speculation, is at 600 trillion. And check me on that if I'm off, but that to me signals a bubble, like another bubble. So we'll see what happens. We have to prepare ourselves. So
We do, and that's why I feel, and a lot of us that are here, we feel that Caspa is the alternative. It is our way out. That's why people are so excited about Caspa, because it is sound money and it does allow us to have something of our own that the banks can't really take away. If you have your own keys, it's yours and you don't have to worry about the shorts. However, we all know what happened when Binance listed Kaspa as a future. We all know what happened when Coinbase listed Kaspa as a future. It did change the charts. And those of us who've been watching are aware. However, this past week, Kaspa's been up 42%. And something is shifting. The tide is shifting. Now, are these big exchanges? Are they involved in this? Or are these little guys? We've seen top players that are the top whales, top wallets are adding 15 million plus in the last 24 hours. They're adding millions of Caspa. So we see it happening. The price jumped from what, 3.9. Now it's at 6.61 or 6.0. It's kind of teetering, but it's over the 6 cent mark. A lot of us are really um, waiting for this to get back to the 11 and 12 cent range, where we feel that that's where it kind of had a sweet spot. And of course, from there, there's this hope it'll jump to 15 cents, which is usually where FOMO starts, so that we can get to our ATH, which is 20.7 cents or something like that. It's very doable. The question is this organic or is this part of the system of market manipulation? And this is kind of what Juan is talking about when we're talking about derivatives and betting on things that aren't backed with anything. And so I think he raises some valid points here.
Yeah, absolutely, Kara. And it's, it's really hard to train your brain to not look at. You mentioned you don't really look at the charts, and I've mentioned before that one Kaspa is one Kaspa, just like they say that, just like they say with Bitcoin, one Bitcoin is one Bitcoin. And understanding that it's a hard cap supply. So as long as Kaspa stays decentralized, secure, it's bounded by energy, and it's literally repricing everything in that system. Now that system, right, when we see these numbers fluctuate, right, the way it's, because what it's signaling to me, when you look at the money supply and what's out there, there is a shortage of money. We are running, there is that is what's happening, and it looks like it's shifting. People are seeing Caspa, right? We've been talking about it on this platform for the past couple months, but you can feel the energy of people starting to understand, oh, okay, there is actually this other thing that with the same ethos as Bitcoin, and it can be this peer-to-peer digital cash system. But it's also so much more. I really do see Caspa standing on its own. I think a lot of us here see that, and that's why I don't think it's a competition with Bitcoin, right? That narrative of there can only be one, I don't really buy into that. And you can have your opinion on that. And I know people say Caspa is the end game and all that, but when you just look at what it is at the base layer and what it's capturing, it's a signal of the liquidity in the market and what's happening. So um the market, for the most part, is pretty down, isn't it? And look, you mentioned 6 cents. I didn't even notice it went way up to that.
We've
So
been okay, so the market in the last 2 weeks, the market has just been really, really down. Bitcoin went down, a lot of the major coins went down, Zcash went up, but then it went back down. I normally don't check the price, like you said. However, when I see people in my news feed talking about the price a lot, sometimes I go to check the price to see if they're accurate. And when people kept saying it was pumping, I went to go check, and sure enough, it was pumping. When I went to see it go down, I checked because I went on Google News and they were talking about how Bitcoin had a huge plummet. And I went, what? So I went to go look and check. But I don't normally, as a habit, go and look at the price. I used to, I did it a couple years ago. I would check it every few minutes, but I just don't anymore. Now I check it if it's newsworthy or if everyone in my feed is talking about it. And I actually have the charts up right now. I'm looking at the numbers, I'm looking at the price. I don't normally do this, but when it's going up, I love to look.
it's great. Yeah, feel
I
it.
mean, it's just nice to be able to see it
Nothing
go
wrong with
up,
that.
up, up.
Nothing wrong with that at
And it
all.
is having, it's up for the hour, it's up for the 24 hour, it's up for the 7 day, it's up for the 30 day, it's also up against Bitcoin. It's up against Bitcoin for the hour, for the 24 hour, for the 7 day, and the 30 day against Bitcoin. It's up against Bitcoin by 31.25% for a 30 day.
But
It's
Kara, I thought
also
everything
up.
went to zero against Bitcoin. This doesn't make sense. Are
I
you
know,
sure?
right? It's also up against Ethereum for the 1 day, the 24 hour, the 7 day, and the 30 day, and the 90 day against Ethereum.
Look at that.
Kaspa is up, 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 and it's dominating the charts as far as growth in the last 24 hours, 7 day, and even the 30 day, it's making moves. So there's a lot of momentum happening and people feel it.
Yeah, yeah, and it could be a number of things, right? But at the end of the day, it shows that there's demand for it in the market, and right now the market, the liquidities in the market is, there isn't a lot of money in the markets, so it's moving from somewhere. And yeah, this is a signal. It's a signal that we're in the right place, the right time. and it's a beautiful thing. Uh, it's only going to go up and to the right from here. But yeah, I'm looking at that too, right? It's up. And the number that I like to look at is what it's up against Bitcoin all time. So it's up 11,000% against Bitcoin. So it's like whenever I see these people post these charts,
Yeah,
zoom it out completely. And there aren't a lot of coins that are up against Bitcoin all time, right?
I
So
love that. I love that Caspa is it stands on its own and it really shows that it's outdoing Bitcoin if you really look at it. It really is, and it has been.
and again, Kara, I really do think that Caspa stands on its own, right? I don't see a world where Caspa succeeds and Bitcoin. I know that we talk about the security budget and all that, and there's battling here on X about it, but there's never been one world currency. That's something that has been confirmed for me studying history and seeing how things have evolved. Like, yeah, gold has been the store of value for 5,000 years, and Seb does a really good job of talking about this, right? And it's like I'm becoming a fan of currencies and understanding. We've never had most currencies. I don't believe have lasted longer as long as the U.S. dollar has, with being the power that it's been. Um, Most currency, and then again this whole scaling and layers. So it's just like Caspa stands alone. Caspa stands on its own. It's something different. We're here at the beginning of it, and it's exciting. It's definitely exciting to see what's going to come of this, no doubt.
You made a tweet earlier. I don't have it in front of me, but you were making a comment about liquidity. Do you
Oh
remember
yeah,
what
yeah, absolutely. Well, that was in reference to what we got last week from the gentleman that came up and brought shitty energy. um so yeah, when he came up and said what he said, so I was just I was just commenting on that.
Yeah,
uh
there's people who say Caspa has no liquidity, and you said, "Oh yeah, really?"
yeah, it's these people that think that it's only going to be one, and I don't understand all that. That makes no sense to me. um I don't like talking shit about other. I'm on here to educate from experience and the way I see it, and that doesn't mean that's how everybody needs to see it, right? Go test it for yourself, see what you think for yourself. So yeah, I'm gonna stand up for what I see and I believe, and but I'm always open. I'm always open to being shown a different way, because I'm attached to nothing and connected to everything. That's how it is.
How do you feel about hypothetical or speculative questions?
So I used to do a sales training, and there was this way that I would put it to my new sales trainees, and on if they wanted to succeed, they needed to ask questions a certain way. So that's what comes up for me when you say that. um, I let it roll off. So here's what I would tell them. I'm like, if you want to see the world like glass half full, and have you need to ask success seeking questions. Like, okay, so asking a question in a way that's going to help you get an answer to something, I'm cool with that. But I don't know if I'm answering your question. If you're asking a speculative question and you're being negative about it, that's how I feel like most of the questions are, or most of the speculation is. And it's just talking shit. There's no substance behind what they're saying or asking. So
I guess from an educational speculative question, I have one for you.
okay.
So, I'm looking at Q1 and wondering if it's going to be a repeat of the Q1 from this year, or if you think it's going to move us towards the momentum and energy of people looking forward to VProgs. Do you think it's going to have more of that positive lift, or do you think it's going to be kind of a um, almost a repeat of this year?
Yeah,
What do
so
you
so I think it's hard to nail down what's going to happen quarter to quarter, year to year, actually, because the way I see the pricing of Caspa doesn't really have anything to do with um, what's being built right now and when it's going to roll out. I think it has. So the pricing that we see, Casp was obviously becoming more well known. People are starting to understand it, but we've also had the market cap of Caspa at like 4 billion at one point. So we're not back there yet, right?
Right.
And Caspa's 10 blocks per second now. Back then it was 1 block per second, if I'm not mistaken.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think the tech and all that and it rolling out, and maybe there'll be like a short-term pump. I think the long-term pumps and what we're going to see it be long-term, it's going to play out very similar to what we saw with Bitcoin. Because again, because the way I see this is what it is at the base layer and what it's solving for. And then the market's going to tell us. And I do think that Caspa is here because the free market told us, oh, we still need a peer-to-peer proof of work digital cash system. That was something that's why right now Caspa has the market cap that it has.
So let me,
So I think
I want
there's
to
a
pick your
market for it,
brain.
but I don't. It's hard to say because this is going to roll out. It's gonna go here. It's gonna go there. Yeah, I don't necessarily play in that game or.
I want to pick your brain on this because if Bitcoin wasn't around, clearly all or most Bitcoiners would already have adopted Caspa because it's so
Oh yeah.
superior. But because Bitcoin exists and because it has that pre-existing adoption, and there is some resistance mentally with some of the Bitcoiners because they see theirs as immaculate, even though there are problems. Do you
Okay.
think that do you think that um, do you think that
Yeah.
how do you think that's affecting Caspa's adoption growth? Just
Yeah.
knowing that
It's definitely affecting.
yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely affecting it, right? Because there's people are going to speculate based on their ideals and the way they see things. So I heard Neo say this. He's like he's had Bitcoiners tell. I've never had a Bitcoin tell me this, but for example, I have friends that are Bitcoiners that aren't on social that have bought Caspa. I have a handful of friends like that. Um, Bitcoin, it was the test net. My son's, I'll share who it was. My son's godmother said that to me. She's like, I think Bitcoin was a test net for Caspa.
Wow.
So
It's catching on.
and I, yeah, and I see that. So I think obviously and here's the thing too, Kara. I mean, have you gone back and looked at the block size wars? Have you read Hijacking Bitcoin?
I haven't read the book, but I'm familiar with the block wars, some
Yeah.
of the arguments, and I even know some of the arguments of before even Caspa was made, whether or not this was even something that they wanted. So
Right, right.
yeah,
And another person who's really good to study to understand what happened to Bitcoin is Roger Ver, who's one of the authors of that book. The other is I think it's Brian Patterson. He wrote that book with Roger Ver. But I don't even think a lot of people know who Roger Ver is, and he's a big part of the reason why Bitcoin got on the map early in 2011, 2012, um, before Silk Road. And Silk Road is what really put Bitcoin on the map. So there's a lot of history of Bitcoin that isn't really talked about. And none of these newer Bitcoiners know about. Like they don't ever mention or they talk shit about Roger Ver because he challenged or he was a big blocker, I guess, right? He was the one who they wanted to see Bitcoin scale at the base layer. They didn't want to see it scale in layers. But the narrative at the time, and again, I wasn't around, but from what I've studied and what I've seen, that was that's what was captured. That's what most people believed in. And again, that's to me, that's the herd mentality. The herd mentality at that time was small blocks, keep it immutable, don't change it. But if you go back and look at some of the things that Satoshi talked about on the emails and all that, and that's what all of us Caspa people bring up. You see it all the time.
yeah,
We're filling Satoshi's original mission. right? And I think that's what Jonathan was about too. That's why Jonathan went and built, quietly, and is the most cited researcher, and people still don't really know who he is in the space, right? I think they're starting to get to know that post of his guy has 3 million views now, right? So
And Binance is still silent.
yeah, yeah, of course, because they're a part of the system. I think hijacking Bitcoin explains a lot. And the beautiful thing about that book is that it cites so much, and then you get to know the characters that are within Bitcoin that kind of had it go a specific way.
Yeah, I've had that book recommended to me numerous times. I'm
Yeah,
gonna have
that
to read that.
it puts everything in perspective, right? And it's you don't hear Bitcoiners talking about it, right? But I read that book. I also read Saifedean's The Bitcoin Standard, and that book's is now different to me after reading Hijacking Bitcoin. Because I'm like, okay, now I understand Saifedean. I also, we exchanged phone numbers, and then he blocked me on here because he found out that I was talking about Kaspa.
That's so crazy.
Yeah, I've never interacted with him. I was supposed to go. He's here in Miami. I met him doing yoga, and I walked up to him after I went to a Bitcoin conference. I'm like, hey, Robert, my name's Juan. I'm supposed to meet you. That's literally how I introduced myself to Breedlove. And then we just started talking. He's like, hey, let's exchange numbers. I'm running events here. I'm like, cool. And we went back and forth on some texts. And then when I started talking about Caspa, I was like, oh shit, he's not coming up on my feed. And he fucking blocked me. Never spoken
Wow.
to him on X. So there's some of that shit being played out, you know. Um,
Think it comes from their fear, or do you think it comes from something else?
they're protecting their bag. They're attached to their money. They're attached to their money. Here's one of the things with me, Kara. I have thought about what it would be like to lose every fucking penny. So to me, this is even though it's like I'm okay, I'm doing good in life. It's not just about money for me. I don't give a shit. Like I've had money in the bank. I am a resourceful fucking human being. Like I can make shit happen and make money.
I love that.
I know how to do that. I shared this on the show with and I don't think I've ever said it here on Blockchain Banter, but I have gotten to experience. I have generated 50 grand in a day. I've made 100 grand in a week. I've made $250,000 of dollars in a month, and I've made my best years. I made 1.6 million.
Yeah, you
Um,
mentioned this on your other show.
yeah, yeah, exactly. So just like that, and I share that from a place of but do you know where I came from? And it wasn't about money. It's just like I had this beautiful different perspective and these beautiful foster parents that I got to learn from in my late teens, and I was very fortunate how all this, and I've been living like this for 25 years. It's like I shared this, right? My story isn't mine to keep to myself anymore. So this isn't mine to keep to myself. Like I'm a reflection of all of you. That's really how I see this. So I'm not so all that to say I'm not attached to my bag, Kara. I'm not attached to Caspa. It's not just about Caspa's presenting itself in a way where I obviously have to pay attention to it. But I will always question, I will always dig in, I will always seek truth, no matter what. And Caspa's that for me. Um, so that's how I see it with them. It was funny when I met Robert. He was going to go do a spiritual retreat. He was going to do ayahuasca for the first time, and I was like, oh, okay, that makes sense why I would run into you. And that's shit that happens to me all the time. Um, and I just think it's him being challenged and um, because it doesn't make sense, right? I think at the end of the day, they're all gonna come. We're all working towards the same thing. It's exit to me. It's exiting fiat, understanding that system over there, what we've been extracted from our entire lives, we see a problem with it. Bitcoin started it. Caspa's a part of this. Maybe there'll be others. I don't know. Maybe there won't. But at the end of the day, we all want the same fucking thing. We want to stop. We want to stop being extracted from. We want to be able to preserve our energy. Um,
Yeah. We've been bailing out the banks for so long. At some
We
point, we
have.
need to look out for ourselves and our families
Absolutely.
and look out for the little guy because we've been looking out for the big guy this whole time, and it's our turn.
Yeah, it really is. It really is. So, and I think making money the way I have has had me realize like, oh, it's not that big of a fucking deal. Like we make a bigger deal. Like that's the money isn't really what people want. People want the things that money they think gets them. So what we want is the connection. We want the love. That's what you really want. You want those moments. That's where the wealth is. And in my travels, I've been able to travel the world too, and it's just like I see people that don't have much and they're good. They're fine. I see them happier than some of the fucking wealthy people that I know.
I know, I was
Wealthy
gonna
people that have
say
been
that
grinding away.
too. I was gonna say that too. Some of the people I know who have the least amount of money have found
Yeah.
so much joy, and they find reasons to celebrate and be happy, even when it seems as if even the shoes on their feet have holes. They dance anyway. They make fun,
Yeah.
they find a way to be grateful, and it's often those that have the most money that do the most complaining, and they're not as happy, and I can't put my finger on it, and I know it's not everybody. There's
It
exceptions.
is that. Yeah. Yeah. I think that's why just being a part of the conversation is important. Having the conversations. Meeting people where they're at, bringing them along at their pace. Not unfortunately, not everybody's going to get it. But if you can, for me, it's like, okay, can I affect the leaders of families? That's something I focus on. I try to call in that energy, like connect me with people that are leaders of their families.
Hmm.
Because within my family, that's who I am. They all count on me for, I manage the assets of my family, right? My brothers aren't going to get it. My dad doesn't. My dad's a completely different person this past year since I've been saving in Kaspa and Bitcoin for him. Completely different. He's gonna go back to Panama for the first time in 15 years, Kara. They're going for Christmas.
How has his life changed?
My mom got her dentures. Like that was something that she's wanted for a couple of years. It's just like they have everything that they need. And the cool thing, here's the cool thing about it too. It's like this is a man who, a military drill sergeant, very mean growing up. We were separated. I didn't see him for like 7 or 8 years of my life. Didn't really talk to him for a good 10, 15. And, last year when I came to him and just said, hey, I'll do this for you. And it's not about trying to control what you got going on. But look, here's what it's done for me. And I just shared what it's been like saving in Bitcoin for me. Things have gotten cheaper for me. So this is when Bitcoin was at where it's at. I have a smaller buy-in price for Bitcoin. So it's like, man, life has gotten cheaper for me. And I just showed him the numbers, like had he done the same thing, and he was like, okay, cool, go ahead and do it. And then to see this man is 69 years old, turned 69 last week. To see his growth as a 69-year-old man, like wow. And now I talk to him more than I talk to my mom. So it's just helped him heal himself in this beautiful way. And he's great with my son. Um, and I love him. Like none of us are perfect. He did a lot of crazy dumb shit. Most people probably wouldn't forgive him for, but I have. That's all that matters. So
That's fine.
yeah, and that's a direct result of being able to save in a sound system for him.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Let's open the floor to anyone else that wants to share. We're going to be having a shorter session today because of Thanksgiving, and we do want to open the floor. So if anyone wants to request to speak and share what you're grateful for or what you've learned this week, or just share a little bit, go ahead and request to speak. Um, we'll probably stay on for a few more minutes, but we'd love to hear from someone. So yeah, feel free to connect with us.
Yeah,
I
we'll give it a
see,
few minutes.
yeah, I see Cast Me On and Caspa Omega. Sometimes you guys like to jump on, so feel free to request if you'd like, or anyone else who's in the room. We'd love to hear from
Hey,
you.
even if you just want to come up and say what you're grateful for and it be short and sweet,
Yeah,
like Kara mentioned, we don't plan on being on here too long. We want you guys to be with,
with
if you're in the
family.
U.S.,
Yeah.
obviously, say yeah, family celebrating Thanksgiving. So Kara's entire family's waiting for her downstairs.
They are, and there's pecan pie and all of that waiting, and
Oh my
I'm
god.
so ready to eat. I made some really delicious. I said I'd made some Italian food. I go to an Italian deli where I get pasta imported from Italy, and some of the pasta that I got, I don't even know how to pronounce. So I don't know how to pronounce Gigli. I don't know if it's jiggly or giggly or geely. I don't know how it's
I'm
pronounced.
gonna.
But I made some of that and something else is called Grano di Puglia e Basilicata. I can't even pronounce it. And that was a hot Sicilian dish.
Oh, okay.
So I've been doing some of that. I can't even pronounce some of the pastas I've been making, but my family is Sicilian, and so it's nice to be able to
Ooh,
cook food that everyone goes, "Ooh, this is so authentic and so good."
that's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah, Julian's mom's coming over to the house tomorrow, and she's gonna do her thing for us here. So
that's
she's a
nice.
really good cook too. So yeah, looking forward to that.
That's great. So you're gonna have a family get together as well to
Yeah, yeah,
celebrate,
absolutely.
have some good food.
And football,
And
family and
football.
football. Yeah, I bought all these non-alcoholic IPAs that I like. So I like trying IPAs, and I've cut out the alcohol for a while now, but it feels like I'm having a beer. So
Nice. I
I'll
wish
probably
I
have a
had
real beer.
some.
I'll
I would
probably
like
have a
a
real
real
beer.
beer. I want a real beer.
Yeah. I'll only do that when if I'm in a social settings, I don't really have any at the house. Well, I do. I have a bar with a bunch of stuff. But I'll be going to London to Wolfie's bar. I think I have to try a real beer out of the horn because
Yeah.
I know that. Yeah, so that'll be impossible not to do. I'll definitely have one, but yeah, I'm not really a drinker.
Did you hear what
Uh,
Michael Sutton says? He said you gotta get Jonathan to have a Guinness.
oh yeah, why is that?
I don't know. I don't know. I guess he drinks Guinness. I don't know, but
Okay,
have a Guinness with Jonathan if you're able. I think that'd be
okay.
a nice memory.
Yeah, yeah. I'll definitely throw back a few with the crew, no doubt.
Yeah, I'm sure if I
Well,
had a Guinness with Jonathan, I would feel like a retard very quickly. Just based on the history. Um,
no, I'm gonna bring that up and defend you, Kara.
you,
So
thank
I'm gonna.
you. Thank
Yeah,
you.
yeah. I mentioned on that on the other blockchain banter a couple weeks ago when all that went down. I was like, yeah, I'll tell him to his face, just like Caspa Onion did.
Man, I tried to do
But
him
you
right.
said he liked it. He likes it when people tell him that he can go fuck himself.
Oh, he loves
So
it. He loves it. He loves it.
well, good. I respect him even more now. So
If you would, buy him a beer for me, I'll pay you for it and tell him I said, go
okay,
F yourself. Here's a Guinness.
sweet. I'll do that. I'll do that. I'll do that for sure. No, no, I'm looking forward to it. The event's a tokenized real world assets event, so it'll be cool just to nerd out and learn about what's being built within blockchain there.
Yeah.
That'll be super super awesome. I'm really looking forward to that. And then again, getting together with Seb
Oh,
because
yeah.
I volunteered my time to help him onboard businesses, and we plan like I plan on calling all these Bitcoin these uh, places that accept Bitcoin and crypto and converting them over like I do with people putting them on the Caspa wallets. So it's gonna happen. Um, yeah,
We need to
Adoption
clone
happens.
you. You have such a high success rate of converting people to Caspa. We just need to clone you and put you in every business.
Well, I plan on, I can see myself putting together a little team and teaching all this, that all this is teachable, and I've been a sales trainer. I've done this. I've built little teams my entire career.
How do we
So it's
scale
something.
up Juan?
Yeah, I think it starts from within, right? Like, you are the people around you and your family. Like, does your son have a Caspa wallet yet?
You've asked me that, and you know the
Okay.
answer.
So there we got to start there. The baby steps, Kara. We got to start with ourselves
It's
and
not
then the
from a
people
lack of
around
trying.
us.
I have money put aside for him.
I know. It's
But
all good.
it's
It's all,
impossible. He's a teenager who doesn't even find interest in this. He wants to go do anything else. I think it's because
I
he hears
promise you, I promise you, if I had a conversation with him, by the time the conversation ended, he would have a Caspa wallet.
he would listen to you, but because I'm his mother and I always talk about
Maybe.
Caspa, he doesn't
There
want
you
to
go.
even go
So
there.
yeah. So that's what it is. Is well, just to answer your question, right? It starts with it's going to take that. People like myself, other people, doing it. There is no team, right? There's no more. We are the team. So I like that challenge. I love the challenge, and the fact that understanding Seb built cast maps from a conversation that we all had in Berlin, and to see that come to fruition. I woke up one morning and being like, I have to call Seb, or I messaged him, I DM'd him, and then we got on a Zoom call that day, and I just let him know. I was like, hey, I'm down to volunteer my time as soon as you need someone to make these phone calls. Like, I've done it my entire life, so this is me contributing and giving my energy to something that I believe in. Um, yeah, it's gonna be fun. It's play for me. It's fun for me. I
So
I
you
don't.
said that you'd be willing to make a team in because this is teachable. I would like to challenge you to take this and scale one because you
Okay.
have such a high conversion rate. I would love to see what you can do if given full range and you're about to travel all over America.
Yeah, I am. Yeah, yeah. So
That
I'm
gives
moving
it
out of I'm moving out of the apartment at the end of this year,
that
and
puts you in
like, I just plan on
prime
being a nomad.
position. Yeah, that puts you in
Hmm.
prime position to have the whole US as your oyster, right? So I'm curious what's going to happen because because when you're face to face with people, people can't say no to you.
No, they can't. It's impossible.
And if you go to businesses, if there was some kind of way that I don't know if it takes spreadsheets or what, but I think that if you strategized, I think that during this
Yeah, I'm pretty.
phase of traveling, you might come back and say, "Hey, I converted 500 businesses."
I got you. I'll track it. I'm a statistics guy too. So trust me, I still do it old school. I'm sure there's newer AI ways, but I have an Excel spreadsheet of everything that I've ever earned and done
If
since I started earning. And yeah,
if you find that something is working and you're able to duplicate the process, please share it with us so that we can
yeah,
know what to
absolutely.
tell people, we can know what script to say, etc.
And I'll do that too. And I've done that too. So I've done sales trainings. I've so for example, when I was a rep at Cutco, I had one of the highest and referral success rates. I was really good at getting referrals on my appointments and setting up appointments. This is back in the day when, before social media. So it's different now, but I think, these are just basic skills that I've been fortunate enough to attain over the years. And yeah, all this stuff is teachable. It absolutely is. And I'm open. Anybody want to have a conversation? DM me, shoot me a message. I'm spending my time on this. It's part of the reason why I'm going to London, because I want to get around these guys. I'm gonna have a chance to meet the devs, maybe Jonathan, to help build people up. And like I said, one of the things that, like, what's rooted in me is I want to meet the leaders of families. And if you're on here, you're listening to us, and you believe in Caspa, you're a leader in your family. So, in any way that I can contribute, so I'm down for that challenge, Kara. I'm down for that.
I
I
love
love it.
it. I love that so much. And since we don't have anyone that's volunteered to come up and speak with us. I think it might be actually cool if we start to wind down so we can spend Thanksgiving with our families. Um, so I guess I would just like to just take a minute and just thank everybody that took time out of your day on this night before Thanksgiving here in America, at least. We celebrate Thanksgiving tomorrow. Thank you for taking the time out of your day to be here and spend time with us. And Juan, it's always a pleasure hearing your experiences and thoughts and your positivity always. I love hearing your stories, and you come with so much insight, and I find what you have to say very valuable, and I hope other people here feel the same. Always a delight. And those who are listening on recording, thank you for listening. We appreciate you so much. And I have archived all of the previous 8 episodes. They are on YouTube. So anyone who would like to listen to previous episodes, they are all available. And episode 9 will be available very soon. And if anyone would like to share the wealth, we have uh, a wallet at beneaththesurface.cas, and any of the proceeds are split 50-50 between Juan and me. And every now and then we'll leave a little extra into the wallet, which actually pays for us to do these live recordings on Vivor. So those who are listening on Vivor, thank you for being a part of our show and for your generous tips, which help make this possible. So thank you so much. And most importantly, I hope everyone here feels a sense of gratitude, not just for me and Juan, but just from a sense of yourself. Give yourself a sense of gratitude. Be gentle with yourself and have a really, really good Thanksgiving. And Juan, I'll let you have the last word.
Kara, I second so much of what was said there. I appreciate everybody for tuning in live and those of you listening back. We're in such a beautiful, beautiful protocol. Kaspa is doing things and it stands on its own. Um, I'm grateful. I'm grateful for being a part of this community, for contributing to the community and learning from all of you. Kara, I've enjoyed getting to know you over these 9 episodes, and looking forward to the future conversations. There's so much here and so much more to learn. Um, it's super cool that Caspa is pumping at the right time. It'll continue to pump. There'll be dumps, but there'll be pumps as well. So hang in there through it all. Again, appreciate all of you. Hope you have a beautiful time with the family. And as always, thank you for joining us on Blockchain Banter Beneath the Surface, where Caspa carries that current of truth, vibrating at the frequency of seekers, one conversation at a time. Be humble, be kind, and give it time. Love you all. Have a
Happy
beautiful night.
Thanksgiving. Bye, everybody.
Bye.